All right, it is Friday, July 22nd, where it is hotter than heck. This is summer. Summer's here. It's legit. It's real. Another special guest. Let's just get right to it. Here's Riggo.
All righty, Toddy. Thank you very much. Yes, we do have a special guest with us today. I'm very pleased to introduce my other daughter, Hannan Bros Riggins.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Rose?
Bros. B-R-O-Z.
It's a family name.
That's my mom's maiden name, Bros.
So you all are bros. You're like, hey, bro. Oh,
I've gotten that my whole
Czech
life.
Republic.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Motherland.
Gosh, I've known you since you were like this. I never bros. That's
Yeah.
very unique.
It is very unique, yes.
I got a brother whose middle name is Lang.
L-A-N-G.
L-A-N-G, and we've just been tormenting him for all of his life, so it's cool to be different.
I was just thinking that with Smooch here, that her nickname is Smooch, and she hates it when I call her Hannah.
Yeah.
Because over the years, it's like what? I guess it's kind of like when you remember your parents have certain names for you.
Right.
I remember when my mom was really mad, she'd go, Robert John Riggins, get in here.
When you got the full name, it was on.
Yeah, exactly. It must be with everybody.
Jeffrey Todd Castleberry, I was in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if I've ever said Hannah Bros Riggins, but when I
No.
say Hannah,
Hannah's enough.
Smooch knows.
I
It's like-
smooch and then the dude.
Things have gotten very
Smooch
formal
and
when I use
Yes.
the word Hannah.
It's on.
It's very
What did you
alarming,
do?
yes.
What did you do?
Which actually gets me to the point where, Coco is home. Well, actually, she'll be getting up here in a little bit. She would have been here with us, but I think it's only right that Smooch gets her own debut solo with us.
I got to
as
go through
opposed to have-
Coco's manager now. It's starting to get a little, I don't know, what we created here.
Exactly.
I know.
you
I
do.
hope I live up to Coco's.
Yeah, I think you got
Coco's
this.
high
She learned from Big Sister. This we know.
Thanks,
But
Dad.
anyway, so Hannah came over this morning and we rode over together. But what you didn't get to see, Smooch, when you walked in is I just got yesterday, because my neck is really bothering me today, and I was talking about a mortar and pestle a little while ago, right? Which is basically the kind of stuff you find in a chemistry lab. But, I don't know why I do this, because I'm thinking if LM was home, and when she sees it, she'll start in on me. But I ordered, because I'm the chef, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of cooking. So somewhere it got in my head that instead of getting regular, which I have a ton of measuring cups, they're stainless steel, they almost look like little pans, that you could use. You've seen them.
Yeah.
So a while back, I ordered a bunch of beakers, like chemistry beakers.
You are the optimizer.
Well, guess what you can do with these?
Were you in
can
the lab?
You can put them on the stove and heat stuff in
Oh
them if
my
you
Right.
want
gosh,
to.
Tony.
So
Do you have a Bunsen burner? What are we doing?
that to me, I'm thinking maybe next. I'm not sure. I started thinking about it yesterday. I'm going, chemistry, there's a whole other world out
Oh,
there
boy.
that I completely have let slide on.
John, you've been watching Breaking Bad? I see where this is heading.
Walter,
Yeah, I
is his
see.
name Walter White?
Walter
Yeah,
White,
Walter
with
White.
good pull. I see where this is heading.
Yeah. Then I'll have Hank on my ass, right?
Then we better call Saul.
Well, I'm married to Better Call Saul, so I'm good
Better
there.
call Lisa Marie.
Anyway, so then I took it to the next level. Now this one, I even have to look in the mirror and I have to ask myself, Smooch, why did I do that? I got these, I think they're called Ellenberg, something like that. I can't even pronounce it. Anybody who knows anything. Flasks.
They're
So
the
now
best,
I got
right? They're the best.
my God.
These are the best.
I want
class.
everything, and I don't. There's some that were. No offense here, but like Vince from ShamWow, those Germans that make good stuff. My stuff has made in Germany on it, so I'm going. There was some that was made in India, and I went, nah, I'm going to go with one's made in
You and
Germany.
Trump, the best. That's the best.
I think it is. It's really huge too. It's huge. It's gonna be huge. It's going to be huge. Anyway, so I've got these flasks around, and I got one that's just so cute. You'd almost have to use it like if you had. Almost got to go down and get your old dollhouse out, Smooch, and take it down. But because it's only about this tall.
Now he's cooking crack. He
Yeah,
got off the crystal meth. Now he's back to the crack. So I hear, allegedly.
I'm trying to think, but anyway, that's
Allegedly.
kind of where we got to with this whole chemistry stuff. That I got to thinking I'm going to start making my own compounds, and what I don't know if anybody knows about what's his name, Pete and Seth, with pain relief. Does anybody see any of those commercials? Pain relief, you know? It's
Oh, the natural pain relief.
yeah, the people that's been taking this in 3 weeks that they're completely.
Well, the one
totally
guy's a
crazy.
rodeo
Pat
professional.
Boone.
Pat Boone.
And there's some other ones. Yeah, and then
There's
you
some
said
older guys. There's one younger guy who's a rodeo star.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm thinking, but that gets me into a whole other thing. I'm going to jump ship here, like I usually do. The rodeo guy on that. I mean, do you see what they show? He's got a helmet and he's got like a chest protector. Do you see some of the?
They wear mouthpieces, the whole deal. They're
I'm
playing
thinking
football.
I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be the old bull riders that look at this and go, "Are you kidding?"
Just like the NFL, John.
I hate to be
Versus
that
today's
way.
punk who's wearing he's bubble wrapped.
And exactly. And then they walk around asking, well, you think you could play in today's game? And the question is, could they play in my game?
There you go. There you go.
Might be a lot less football players out there. So, Smooch, what have you been up to? Smoochie's got a very interesting job, and I think you should tell us about it. She actually works in a cat house.
A cat house.
Let's be specific.
Kind of like a cat farm, I guess I would say.
But you got to admit, I mean, because I've been there. That's where we've got 2 cats. That's where they came from. But
Yes.
they inhabit the entire house.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Oh yeah, at the barn.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
How many cats are we talking?
Oh boy. Well, before like a month or so ago, there was probably, I mean, including kittens.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All in. Kitties all in.
It's
Kitties
a
all in.
booming business. There was probably about 100 cats, including kittens.
I'm breaking out in something.
Yeah.
Would that be a pride? Cat? That would be a
Yes.
pride.
A colony, they call them.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I'm also like very allergic to cats, but my love outweighs that. So yeah, me and 100 cats. But they come and go. A lot of them have gotten spayed recently, and they are going to other homes. So now we're probably at like 50 cats.
And didn't you have a cat murder? Wasn't there? What's
We
in there? A
did.
cat catastrophe?
You heard about that? Yeah, it was a catastrophe. It was.
Catastrophe.
Thank you.
Todd's on top of it.
Yeah,
He's hot.
that was
I'm gonna pound sand.
pretty traumatizing, to be honest.
Well, can you reconstruct exactly what it was that you came upon, or is it too horrific?
I don't know if it's safe for TV, but
and it's a podcast.
Podcast,
Anything goes
true.
here on the goddamn John
True.
Riggo
We can get a
Show.
couch in here where you can lay down
Right.
and tell us about it.
no, it was really brutal. I guess I'll try to explain it in the most safe way, but pretty much, long story short, I had gone on vacation for 2 weeks. I came back. It was my first day back. I was really excited. There was a whole bunch of new kittens. The woman I work with, she was like, yeah, go in there, go play with the kittens. They're really sweet. So I'm opening the door. I don't know how graphic I should get with this. But
Full on. We want the good stuff.
We got a tough crowd. They can handle
we
it.
want the good stuff.
it was
Put
really...
the tuna fish sandwich down.
Yeah, if you're eating. I opened the door into the room, and so this all happened within like half a second. And I stepped on something, and I felt my foot slide a little bit, so I was already confused. Then I looked in the corner of the room right next to the door, and I saw what I immediately thought was like a placenta. I thought maybe one of the cats had just given birth.
Okay.
That was my first thought.
We are getting graphic. I like it.
Then, yeah, it's pretty graphic.
Hold the cheeseburger.
Then I look a little bit closer, and I see that I'm actually looking at entrails. Like, we're talking like intestines, internal organs, tiny, little tiny, because it was a small kitten. And then I pick up my foot to see what I'd stepped on, and it was a tiny little cat foot with the skin pulled away from the muscle. And then I look around, there's blood everywhere, and there's 3 other cat feet strewn across the room, and the mother cats are just kind of looking at me. They're like, hi.
Business
And they're
as usual.
nursing the other kittens, and I was like, what did I just walk in on? So yeah, I called my boss immediately. It was pretty traumatizing, and the only thing that we think could have possibly happened is that maybe the kitten was sick. I guess she was saying that mother cats can tell if one kitten isn't doing well or something, so they try to eat it to reabsorb the protein for the other kittens. I don't know. It was like a very big like life lesson
So
for me.
there wasn't an outside perp that we know. There was like a
That's what I
Jeffrey
thought.
Dahmer of
That's
cats.
what I thought at
That was like, ripping and the tearing, and we're going to get down.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper of cats.
Cat the Ripper.
It took me a minute. I had to like sit down after I saw that.
No chance of a stray animal or...
No, it wasn't. And then it was funny because the woman I work for, I saw her like picking up the two mother cats, and she was looking at their teeth, she was looking at their claws, and she looks at me and she goes, forensics.
This one flossed over there. This cat's over there flossed.
Exactly.
They'll never catch me.
Trim their nails.
But the other kittens are doing fine. They're great moms to the other kittens. So it's two sisters that are like best friends. And every time I see them now, I'm like, something's wrong with you guys. But yeah,
They're afflicted.
the cat farm.
They've got mental issues.
Yeah.
Little cannibalism.
Little postpartum
amongst the crowd.
Depression. Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. I mean, because I'm wondering, now that we're talking about this, the placenta, which basically looks like liver, if I'm not mistaken, real rich with a lot of blood and all, because that's where all the stuff transfers from the mother. Exactly, goes to the child, the kitten, whatever it is.
The kitty.
But hogs do the same thing. And I'm wondering if animals that are carnivores, if that's what they do. And I never heard that, but it makes perfect sense that they just like recirculate the protein to put back into the milk for the survivors, because hogs will eat. A mother of hog, a sow will eat the placentas and also will eat dead baby pigs.
Oh.
In other words, if one of the pigs, the mother finds out that it's dead, a lot of times they'll go ahead and eat it.
I hope that kitten died first. I don't even want to think about if it was still alive.
They couldn't just like smother little kitty. No,
well, that could be possible too, that they actually ate it died and then they ate it.
I hope that's
or
the
started
case.
eating it or whatever. You broke in on there having a great meal.
Oh,
Steve.
God.
Hell of a job. Hell of
Yes.
a job.
Yeah.
Hannah leaves for a couple of weeks, comes back. Hey, we got a murder.
Right.
By the way, Smooch watches a lot of our podcasts, and she was watching one last week when we had Coco on, and we got to talking about it, to bring this up, because she brought up something I thought was pretty fascinating the day in the car coming over here, and that is that when we were talking last week about people that panic and they find people, out in the middle of nowhere dead, that have died from exposure, and you find them nude. Smooch told me I'd never heard this before. What was it? What do you know about it?
Well, because I remember when I was watching the podcast, I was like talking.
She just got back from Iceland, by the way.
Yeah.
Iceland.
Yeah, or else I think I would have been there for that one. But I was like talking to the TV when you were talking about it, because you were saying like, yeah, people get really confused and disoriented and stuff. And I was building off of what you were saying, is a lot of the times it's with hypothermia. People with hypothermia, a lot of the times they find them like completely naked after they've died. And it's because, I guess, right before you die, like in the last stages, you start feeling like your blood is boiling, which is so bizarre. And then, these people just start like stripping off their clothes.
Just the
during
opposite of what you think.
hypothermia.
Dexter told me that was because PCP. So you're saying Dexter said PCP wants to make.
But does that give you hypothermia? PCP? Might give you hyperthermia. A little overheated on the inside.
I've never heard that, but you do hear it quite a bit, that the disorientation where your brain's not functioning correctly. But
The other part I've always heard, and Smooch didn't know this, but I've been told that you get euphoric when you get into the throes of hypothermia. You become euphoric. But then that doesn't make sense. I guess maybe
that's your
There's phases.
your final ta-da.
Yeah.
Well, but it's the phases you probably go through when you're approaching death, is that you finally get to that. Then the last one being that you're no longer euphoric, that you're actually like, man, gee whiz, it's hot.
So weird.
And
Wow.
you're sitting there on an iceberg, and you're
Bizarre.
saying how hot it is.
Well, knowing that, going back many years, I believe at the time we were back in Montauk when we first learned of one Timothy Treadwell, the Mr. Bear guy in the great state of Alaska.
Yes.
That is the gift that keeps on giving, because when we used to watch his videos with Mr. Chocolate and the names for all his bears, and then poor Timothy.
Mr. Chocolate.
Eventually, the bears are going to be bears, and
Kinda like the cat.
Timothy went the way of the cat. That's where I'm going with this. And they did a little ripping and the tearing as well, and didn't work out. So, Mother Nature.
Yeah, And that's a weird thing too. I think is that we all have our pets, and and we think that, and dogs, man's best friend, and all this stuff. And I'm not saying it's not true, but you got to know down deep. But I guess we're the same way too. People snap.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, like we've got a cat, Prince, aka Mung, and there's something nefarious about him, but you can't ever put because he's almost like always like. He's not quite Eddie Haskell. He's more genuine than Eddie Haskell.
Yeah, he sells it better. He sells it better.
He wears it on his sleeve.
He's a double agent.
Huh?
Well, I'm not a fan.
Well, he's like...
Oh, that's right.
I am not a fan.
You cat sat that one.
He's got some...
and he's like, hey, what are you talking? It wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Right. He's one of the cats. Then we got the other cat, Rowdy, and they both have... Prince also, we come up with the name Megamind because he's sinister, and then of course Rowdy is Simple Jack
from the movie Tropic Thunder. For the
Simple
reference,
Jack. You do Simple Jack.
There you go.
One of the great characters of all time.
Megamind and Simple Jack.
Simple Jack.
So we don't call them that to their face. Well, actually, maybe we do. I'm not sure.
We do.
Huh?
I think we do.
Yeah.
So you were you backpacking through Europe? Is that correct?
No, through Iceland.
Through Iceland.
Oh,
They're
just
not
Iceland.
connected yet,
Yeah.
but they're getting closer. all the time.
Global warming. Maybe you were.
Well, you never know.
Maybe you
By
were.
the way, what is the latest, Smooch, on the global warming front in Iceland? Are they concerned?
That's an interesting question, actually. They did, so I think it's kind of, from what I understood, so we had some European guides. They weren't from Iceland. One of them was from Hungary, and then I can't remember where the other one was from. They were telling us that the Icelandic people believe, they were saying, yes, it's because of global warming, the people from Europe, because I guess like the glaciers there have gone down like 80% in the past, I can't remember how many years, I want to say 20, 30 years, which is a lot. But they say that the Icelandic
We're going to check
people,
the 80% factual
yeah,
figures.
please fact check me on
It's
that.
either 0.8%
Please
or
fact check
80%.
me. I'm not confident.
80% run for your lives. We're about to have the biggest wave to hit North America.
Right. But
It's one or the other.
So one of those two.
That decimal point, though. Ooh, it's like commas. They make a big difference in a paycheck where that comma goes.
Right. But the Icelandic people believe that there's just natural cooling periods and heating periods of the earth. So I guess that's what I took from it. The Icelandic people believe that we're going to go through another ice age, but before that, we're going through a heating period. So I don't think the Icelandic people are very concerned. Also, 60% of Iceland believes in elves and trolls, legitimately.
Seriously?
So, yeah, no, completely serious. They have, like, in the countryside, if you see, there's, like, little tiny houses that the Icelandic people have made to keep the elves happy. Yeah.
Hey, why? Hey, take a chance. 50,
While in
50.
Rome.
Yeah.
You got to do as Rome is. It's funny, we're talking about, who was I just talking to yesterday about Glacier National Park? Somebody. And there used to be 8 or 9 glaciers there, and now there's only 1
Yeah,
or something. Has anybody heard that?
No.
I mean, talking about the global warming.
They're shrinking, like, at an incredible
It's kind of
rate.
like COVID, though, isn't it? Everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, all the experts. You got all these
Yeah.
experts wondering, oh, it's not global warming. Oh, my God, we're going to burn up. I guess if you go to England right now, they tell you, I don't know, we might believe
I got
in
a friend
global
that's
warming.
been in London this
104
entire
degrees.
week
104
for the
degrees.
International Air Show over there, which is amazing. And here's a stat that
Planes don't fly well in hot air.
no, but these are the badass military jets, and they're showcasing their latest wares, and I mean it's incredible. But here's the stat. Now I did check this because I could not believe it, and these people confirmed it. Less than 1% of houses in the UK have air conditioning.
I was just about to say that.
1%. That just blows me away. But then again, they don't ever get this kind of heat, or their heat seasons are not very long and never this hot. But think about that.
Well, I'm not
No.
worried about the homes. What about the pubs?
Well, that's exactly right. And I asked them too, and they said, yeah, the entire thing. Most businesses, no air conditioning.
Most of
Yeah.
Europe doesn't have a lot of air conditioning.
How about deodorant?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Tons. There's like these big cargo ships going.
That's the one thing I do remember in Europe. Not big on deodorant either.
That's another good point. Yeah. Someplace over there, they hit a new all-time high since they've been keeping records, 104 degrees.
Yeah, it was
Fahrenheit.
It was over in the.
Well,
over
we
in
were
the
there
UK.
3 years ago when we went. Hannan and Coco and myself. I mean, Smooch, Coco.
Yeah, so
I mean,
nervous.
Smooch and the dude and myself.
That's right, because you were
LM.
Czechoslovakian royalty, and they
Exactly.
welcomed back to the fatherland.
They're still drunk. They're still drunk over there, and they're crying in their beer.
celebrating.
They didn't want their favorite son to leave. We were staying in the castle the whole day.
I
can't
do
remember what I
remember.
did with the crown. But anyway. Oh, that's right. But anyway, I was going to say it was like in the mid '90s when we
Yeah.
were in the high '90s, and at the same time over in France, I think it was busting 100 degrees, and this is 3 years ago. So
It was really hot.
I'm kind of more like, if you look back on it, I mean, good God, go out to Kansas. You go out there and you start digging down, you see all this, sedimentary rock. Well, why is that? Because it was covered with an ocean 200 million years ago. So I don't know. It's something that I was thinking about. Who was I talking? I was talking with a dude about it last night, about all the information that we have, that that we're so smart and we figured so many things out, and yet there's always Mother Nature. You just got to go is one step ahead. You're not ever going to be able to really finally. I mean, once you get that far into it, because Coco and I were talking last night about it, as far as will we ever discover how life was created? I guess if you get to that point, you're probably pretty well on your way.
Well, I think we're going to be on Mars and some other planets by then. But to your point, John, I isn't it kind of arrogant of us to think that we can control Mother Nature? I mean, versus.
Well, first of all, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
Well, I guess
It's
I
your
did
show.
mean to cut you off. Well, that doesn't give me any right. Well, yeah, it does. I was going to say, what about when, and this one's the one you always hear, and there's been movies made about it, when they find that big, hot, steaming meteor heading
God.
straight for terra firma,
I-
the place known as Earth, and and there ain't no stopping that
But
thing.
isn't Tommy Lee Jones or Will Smith or somebody going to say
You
Right.
got
this?
to get.
Right.
They
On
go
that
up
movie.
in a rocket ship. And they got to laser, and they got to time it perfectly. And I start to sound like I'm describing Top Gun, but it's this latest show that came out. Have you seen the latest one? Anyway, it gets back down to where that we got to somehow we're gonna. But like I said, there's always something out there that like what was that guy? What was that guy's name in The Sopranos? Well, I didn't see that coming. What was his name?
Yeah,
The guy he gets
Polly,
knocked up-
Polly Walnuts. And,
No, it wasn't Polly Walnuts.
Oh,
He just died.
It's it was the other.
He was kind of the big heavy set guy.
Yeah.
He was the one who said, "Didn't see that coming." I think that's what happens a lot, because I mean, who's to say that another ice age is not possible?
Well, think
It's a little
about this,
shifting
John.
on the axis. I don't know.
Your birthday's coming up soon. As your dad and I were a little bit older, right? But I go back throughout our history and the time on the planet. Here's what I remember, and these things were all going to kill us. Remember acid rain?
Yeah, I do.
Acid rain. Then we had a hole in the ozone layer, and we were all going to die within 20. I can pull out headlines from major publications each of the last decades, and that's the problem for us. And listen, something's happening for sure, but it's so politicized.
But what's causing it?
Exactly. And then you factor in the political element and follow the money and where the big investment goes and who gets all of this. And something's going on, but we've been. Remember Y2K? That was going to kill us because the computers were all going to shut down. There was a glitch, and it's all these. The media's complicit in this stuff, and it's hard to find out what is truthful, what is real, because it is so politicized and divided. You have scientists on both sides of the equation,
Exactly.
saying it's not caused by this, it is caused by this, and follow the money is who's supporting what studies and what scientists and whatever, and you see everybody's kind of bought and paid for.
That's the way it kind of seems to me. That it just, like I said, with the virus, it doesn't make any difference. You're always going to have two camps. This is the way it is. No, this is the way it is. Occasionally, it all comes together. All I know is we don't know dick until we figure out what dark matter is. Did we discuss that? Is that we got to take that?
We
to the
don't
next
have enough gray matters to talk about the dark matter, John.
I think that's true because it's subatomic. We're talking about subatomic
Listen.
particles. That's where you're getting into farks and stuff
He
like
wants to
and
get back to his
quiz-
Bunsen burners and his flask.
He's going.
He's
Listen, I
thinking,
missed my calling. I want to be a chemist. I'm going back to school. I'm going to become a chemist.
all right, so I got a couple things we're going to buy Hannah here.
Oh gosh.
You had a supporting role in, what was the name of that movie?
Pride and Glory.
Pride and Glory. Colin Farrell.
Yep.
John Voight.
John Voight.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton Jr. This was star-studded. Great movie. Check it out.
And Hannah Bros Riggins.
And Hannah Bros
Obviously,
Riggins,
Hannah Bros Riggins.
who was up for an award. And do you like Brad Pitt movies?
Yes, I like Brad Pitt.
I dig most of the stuff that he's in. I really do. But this he did yesterday. So take a look. This is Brad wearing a So
That
he's
is not Brad Pitt.
yes, it is, and he is promoting his new movie called Bullet Train. And he was on the red carpet in Berlin earlier this week, actually. And he has a raw hem knee link skirt and a matching jacket. Also with a Dusty Rose shirt, and he embellished his look
Dusty
with-
Rhodes?
Dusty Rose.
Are you talking about the wrestler?
Dusty Rose, like
Dusty Rose.
not bros, but with the rose.
Oh, not Rhodes.
And he embellished his look with pendant necklaces, a pair of sunglasses, and black combat boots. He also had 2 leg tattoos, one to be a rhinoceros face and one a human skull. Now,
Are those real? Or
they're-
are they just to be
That is
worn with
not
the
Brad
outfit?
that's Brad Pitt. That's Brad Pitt. There's multiple.
my
So Bullet Train's the
gosh.
new movie. Now, when Brad, he once anticipated men would add skirts to their wardrobe when he was promoting his film Troy in 2004. Quote, men will be wearing skirts by next summer. That's my prediction and proclamation. The film answers to both genders. We're going for realism, and Greeks wore skirts all the time then. Now Brad. Now Bradley. Now
I'm trying to
Bradley.
figure out, though, I've always wondered this myself, and it's got something to do, obviously, with the difference between men and women. Where did it develop that women wear skirts, dresses, as opposed to pantaloons? I've never understood why that would be.
And the Scottish wore kilts.
Is it-
and
is
so,
it-
but dresses, to me, the key phrase is used to history. We evolve, we change.
Yeah, I know, but
You
somewhere
don't want
along
your
the
junk
line.
out there flopping around, smacking people, and otherwise.
Well, on the other thing I can think of for a woman, I guess, in case all of a sudden you're walking along and you got to give birth, you don't have to. Hey, somebody help me! Somebody help me get these pants off! I gotta get these pants off. It's
That's
like you're
poor
ready to-
planning.
Huh?
That's poor planning if that's an emergency.
Yeah, sure.
You have
Hey,
not.
wait a second!
You got
It
more
happens all the
problems.
time. It happens all the time.
That you're wearing pants and then you start giving birth.
My point was, it happens all the time. That a lot of times, that somebody goes into labor, they weren't anticipating going into labor 2 months ahead of time. And if you got a pair of drawers on, it's like, I gotta spread
don't
my
know.
legs apart here. I had something poking out here.
I think Hannah can speak for her gender.
Yeah.
Of which,
Well, I didn't want to get too far into
yeah,
it.
but it's saying
Limited
most of them are
knowledge.
wearing the yoga pants and very stretchy stuff. So I
Right,
think they've advanced and have solved that issue.
The
True.
maternity
Nylon,
Maternity.
Lycra took all the guesswork out
So
of it.
Hannah, what do you think of Brad?
I mean, this is a shocking outfit for Brad Pitt.
I don't have a problem with wearing a skirt. I guess in a weird sort of way, kilts
Well,
are kind of cute.
for me,
right?
yeah. I guess-
but only certain guys can wear that stuff. He ain't one of them.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
when-
There's
listen,
a way to
Not
pull
that
it
guy.
off, and that's not it.
He looks like a slob.
looks like
He looks like he's wearing a gunny sack.
No, there's just too much going on. It's too busy.
Yeah. Poor choice of shoes,
Listen,
flip flops.
His hair,
I
his
guess when
roots are
you
growing
reach,
out.
John, you were there.
Yeah.
You reach that level of fame and money, you can do no wrong. You're bulletproof. So not even Brad, or is this Brad's jump the shark moment?
Oh, trying to reinvent himself?
Yeah, well, or the Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah Winfrey's
Oh God.
couch moment.
Nah, I don't think so. But I mean, if he's going to hang out
seems
in that
happy.
outfit constantly, it could be
doesn't
the
look
jump the
well.
shark moment. I don't know if he'll be wearing that 24/7.
He's 58 years old, and he's promoting his new movie where he plays a hitman who's in retirement, but then comes back
dresses
out.
like that.
I don't know. I don't
I mean,
know.
is this- I mean,
I
is
saw the
David-
trailer for it. It's very violent, as you would have.
Yeah, I mean, even his hair, his roots are growing out. I mean, I'm just being really picky now.
He's a
but
movie star.
he just
I
looks
knew
a
Hannah would
mess.
love to analyze this.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Fashion
I'm
plates.
more into the skin illustrations and trying to decide if they're permanent or if he just had them put on to
That's
wear with
true.
his
I don't know
outfit.
if
Because
he has tattoos.
in that world, I think that's something they do all the time,
Right.
don't they?
It's kind of part of the costume, the act, the.
I mean, you got the kind of money and you got the kind of makeup people that just go over there. Hey, put me on a what was it? A rhinoceros head,
Right,
and,
a rhinoceros
skull.
head and a human skull. So it speaks to Mr. Pitt. It works for him.
It does. It works for him.
It's a look.
All right, and to close out this edition of TJRS, football season right around the corner, John.
Yeah.
So I know you're heading to Cabo before you go
That's
to camp,
right.
before you come back and go to camp.
You know what? Now you bring that up, and it's interesting because this time of year, for several reasons, was always very depressing, and it still is. Although I've gotten over it for the most part, but it was always realizing that, particularly when you played professional football, that it was almost like you had to go away once a year, and you gave the county 30 days. You were in the slammer for 30 days. We go to Carlisle, and it felt like you were going. You had to go back. You had to go to jail, and the same thing is true. And I don't know if you guys get it. Do you, Hannah, this time of year, thinking, it's time to go back to school?
Yeah.
It's that classic.
That stuff
thing to-
never. It's just really a depression. Middle of August,
Yeah.
like, it's just, oh, man, I can't. And then people are going to, teachers are going to be starting to tell you what to do. You had this whole summer off. My dad was at work. We could be, particularly when you got a little bit older and we didn't have a babysitter and we kind of do what we wanted to. You had all this autonomy, and then all of a sudden, structure.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
But for you in high school, I'm sure you guys had to start training and your conditioning and all that.
No, shit, we didn't do that back
You
in
didn't?
those days.
They do today.
Oh, we'd go down, you'd put on your combat boots like Brad Pitt there and run around the track maybe once, twice if it was really a good day. And you go, I did my workout for the day, I'm good. Yeah, it was pretty much not real sophisticated.
But college different, right?
Well,
When you had to report in August?
yeah, but I remember off seasons there, I didn't do anything either. I mean, to me, it's like, what's training
Detect a
camp?
pattern here, Hannah. Just tell me when the first game is. I'll be there, kids.
It's like this, guys. You're gonna do two-a-days, right? And it's gonna hurt. There ain't nothing you're gonna do that's gonna make it not hurt. You go out and run your ass off all you want. You show up, it's still gonna hurt. Now, how much more will it hurt? I don't know. I figured I'll roll the dice. I don't know what I missed because it's just agony. I'd rather get it all at once than just slowly drag it out. So why am I going to work out ahead
Listen,
of
when
time?
you're elite and it's Joe Champ versus Joe Chump, as we know.
It's easy. You can compete with if you're Joe Chump, but you got the chops, you got the physical talent. You can compete with Jack Champ all you want. Now, you run into Jack Champ that's got the same talent you got, you may have a problem.
Well, as we are in the dog days of summer here, and we just finished the baseball all-star break, and this is the slowest time of the entire calendar year for sports.
Is that right?
Historically, it always has been. The ESPY Awards were last night. They said they manufactured this bullshit award show to try to combat that because literally nothing's going on in the grand scheme of things. This gentleman, let's give him his props, Jim Weber. He's a podcast. He produces other TV films and stuff. So he created a condensed version of the 22 college football all-name teams. So these are actual players at these schools. So they're starting off with the quarterback at Oklahoma, General Booty.
But that's his real name.
These are real freaking names. As Hannah knows,
I got a friend of mine named
Peele,
General Lee.
Jordan, Key and Peele, and they made this very funny because they would make up names and they do the college
I know what you're
all-star
talking about.
football game.
Oh, yeah.
And legendary. And they're big fans of yours, especially Michael.
Yes. I think it's Key.
It's Key.
I always
It's
get
Key.
confused.
And
Michael Keegan, I think.
Yeah,
his name?
Michael Keegan. And he's on NFL Films. He's
Yes.
a big fan of yours.
I-
So here's some of the other names. Running back for Kentucky, Cavassier Smoke. I love Nebraska, DeColdis Crawford.
I like Dick Holden.
These are real people.
Boogie Knight is a wide receiver for ULM. Not even sure what.
Boogie Night, that got named after the movie, obviously.
Boogie Knight. There you go. Now, how about the offensive lineman for Charlotte and the Panda Askew or Askew?
How about Adju? Jagger Bull. Dodge Saucer.
Fish McWilliams, a D lineman out of UAB.
Okay, but Shida Sila? Is that real?
These are all
Where?
Bumper Pool. Now he's not a bad player. I've seen Bumper Pool out of Arkansas. Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's a DB out of Alabama, so you know he's got game. Buck Coors out of Wyoming. Now, John, is that not an outdoorsman? Buck Coors.
Coors from Colorado.
There's a pig on the list.
Pig Cage as opposed to Pig Bloom. He's a DB out of University of Texas San Antonio. Pig Cage.
You got to like pig.
And you got to like a kicker whose name is Casey Legg. He's out of West Virginia. And DB for North Carolina, Storm Duck.
And let's not forget that offensive lineman, Snoop Leota Amama. Amama.
We can't watch to see these guys on the field this year. Those are your all well done.
Shit, Sila?
That's what I was saying.
I just caught shit. Sheeta. Maybe it's Sheeta.
Now,
Sheeta, maybe.
the Ohio State linebacker,
Chambers.
Steel Chambers. That's like Dick Butkus.
Yeah,
Ray
right.
Nitschke.
He's
Steel
coming.
Chambers.
If that guy can play at all, he'll be huge. He'll be huge.
But
Just
Hanna,
with a name like that,
you
it's
know, 50 years ago,
Build your
up there
brand.
was John Riggins.
pretty boring stuff. Now, it would have made more sense had I been in the rodeo business. John Riggins. Riggins, yeah. I could have been a buck rider, a bronc rider. Smooch, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Good to have you. Now,
This
next
is so
time we'll
much
come
fun.
back. We'll bring the dude. And
Yeah, my
you two can
sidekick.
play ping pong.
Yeah. My partner in crime.
That would be it. All right, that's it for us today, guys. Todd, we'll see you next week. See everybody. Well, next week I'll be in Cabo. We may have a show. We
Might
may
see
not.
you out of
Kinda
Cabo.
depends.
We'll see.
All right, that's it. Riggo out.